Right, so yeah, it's Sunday. It's 9:53 a.m. And we are going to the final day of Fully Charged Live. But before we do, I'm currently at 67% battery. So what I want to do before we head over to Silverstone is I want to get plugged in, get as much charge into the car, ready for the journey home, because I'll be travelling straight home from Silverstone. Obviously in Milton Keynes there's tons of rapid chargers, so we'll go find one of those. Hopefully we won't travel too far to go and find one, and yeah, then we'll get going on our way to Silverstone. Right, let's go find that charger. Okay, right, so we're at a charger, 66% in the battery, 97 miles on the GOM. We're going to reset the trip counter and stuff before we set off, but for the time being, let's check Leaf Spy, see what our temperatures are going currently is. Okay, so we are 2 notches above the first blue line, so battery temperature is pretty low at the moment. Okay, so yeah, Leaf Spy reckons 14.1 degrees, which is good. We're going to go charge a little bit. We're not charging the bottom part of the battery, so I think we'll get I don't think we'll incur too much of a temperature penalty charging here now. So let's go get plugged in and charging. Okay, so we're charging. We're already at 66% capacity, so we're already in the tapering off phase of the charge speed. However, we're pulling 27 well, actually it's just come up to 28 kilowatts, so yeah, I think this is pretty close to being a full speed charge, as would be expected. Maybe throttled a little bit due to the actual low temperature of the battery, but you know, that's, for now it's a good thing because it helps us keep the temperatures down. I will report back once we are closer to being done. All right, speak to you in a bit. Okay, right, so we've got 94% in the battery. By the time I finish this little waffle, it'll probably be at 95%, so we'll unplug because we're only pulling 6 kilowatts now, so there's no point staying on this rapid. Our battery temperature has increased slightly, but it's only to 18.6 degrees. I don't know if you can see that there. 18.7 now. Now if we have a look at the meter on here, it's 1 notch below the center point, but obviously those center 2 or 3 notches represent quite a wide temperature variation compared to the outer notches. So yeah, but anyway, 18.6 degrees is the max battery temperature right now. So that being the case, I don't think we're gonna have any problems. The car's gonna have, you know, a few hours during the day to cool off, not that we need it to. And then on the journey home, I'm going to take a slightly different approach this time. Rather than just taking, trying to do it in one charging stop and eating into the bottom part of the battery, which led to us having some heat issues on the way down. What I'll do is I'll just do 70-80 mile stint, so it means 2 charges on the way home. Should stay well out of that bottom 20-30% of the battery. Shouldn't have any issues at all. We'll probably find the second charge we do, we get a nice high speed for it, thanks to the Rapidgate fix and also the low temperatures anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to stop waffling on. We're at 94%. I'm going to wait for this to tick to 95%. We'll unplug, I'll reset the trip counters, and we'll head off to Silverstone. Right, so we've arrived at the car park here at Silverstone. We've got 81% in the battery, 118 miles on the GOM. We have travelled 14.7 miles to get here from the rapid charger. Now, it's occurred to me on the way here that I should probably reset the trip counter and drive computer again before we set off on the way home, because otherwise the average speed and the journey time are going to be just out by hours. So rather than that, we'll reset them again. Obviously I mentioned how far we've travelled, so you know, we can do some sums later on. But yeah, for now, let's go head in and we'll get involved with day 3 of Fully Charged Live. Oh, just quickly while I remember, the temperature of the battery now that we've arrived here is 22.1 degrees Celsius. So we have warmed up because it was some quite fast roads up the A5 from Milton Keynes to here. Anyway, yeah, just thought I'd add that, and yeah, let's get going. Okay, so that's Fully Charged Live 2019 done and dusted. Now for the drive home. So we've got 81% in the battery. GOM reckons 118 miles. Trip counter, I'm going to reset. I'm going to reset trip counter A and B, and hopefully I remember to do all of the right things along this journey and actually read out these stats, but we'll see if I remember that. So yeah, we'll reset computer 1, reset computer 2. Okay, so in terms of temperature, Leaf Spy reckons we're at 21.1 degrees Celsius. I'm going to do 70-mile stints, so hopefully, yeah, we'll do about 70 miles, stop and charge at Trowell services, do about another 70 miles, get to Weatherby services, and then from there we'll just go straight home. Now, as long as I try and stay out that bottom 30% of the battery, I don't think I'll have any issues. I think it'll be nice fast charges. Temperature's low, obviously it'll rise as we drive, but it should be in the range where we're not getting throttled for the battery being too cool, which is good. It's currently 18 degrees outside. It turned into quite a nice warm sunny day for the Sunday of Fully Charged Live. Anyway, so I'm going to stop waffling on. We'll get going, and yeah, I'll see you when we get to Trowell services, unless anything happens en route. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're about 5 miles south of Trowell services, and we've just hit a 50 and now a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's also tipping it down with rain, which may affect things a little bit. But yeah, currently, I don't know. This could help with range. You know, you never know. Well, the speed limit can help with range, but as you can hear, that rain is really bad. It's absolutely tipping it down. This came out of nowhere. It was glorious. Well, it still is glorious sunshine. Just an absolute sky is opened. Yeah, well, I guess plugging in's going to be fun. I'm getting absolutely soaked. Okay, it seems to be easing off a bit now. It's still coming down hard, but not like it was back there. We're about 2 miles away from from Trowell. So yeah, I do think we're probably going to get caught in this rain.
The destination is on your left. Trowell northbound motorway services moto.
Although the speed limit was lifted, we've just crawled along and we've done about 50, 55 since then. Yeah, I'm happy to, like, these guys are happy crawling along at 50, and to be honest, we're coming off in like 2 minutes, so I don't really care. It'll help with
in 200 yards, speed camera.
And just like that, it's over as quick as it started. Okay, so for this leg of the journey, I had the AC on, I had ProPilot on. The car was in D mode, although that doesn't really affect ProPilot. And I did most of the journey at 70 indicated, which is 66 actual, which is what I did on the way down. I did a bit of the journey, maybe a third of it, at 74 actual, which is 70 actual, which is 74 indicated. So around 70, there's a gap of about 4 miles per hour between what you're actually doing and what is displayed on the dashboard here. Right, so I'm gonna get plugged in, and thankfully we managed to get in. For some reason the rain seems to have passed here, so I've gotten very lucky with not getting wet, but I'm gonna get plugged in. My phone is for some reason rebooting, so we will check what Leaf Spy says in just a moment. Okay, so battery temperature is at 29.4 degrees, which on the display on the car works out as the center of the temperature range. So let's get plugged in, see what kind of rate we pull. So we're on electric highway. Okay, right, let's get plugged in. Okay, so we're currently charging at 22%. So we're currently at 22%. The car is pulling 37 kilowatts, which I believe when it ramps up will be pretty close to around 45 kilowatts once it hits 50%. And then we'll see it obviously ramp down again. Oh, actually getting 38 kilowatts here. So yeah, the car's pulling a reasonable amount of power. I'm going to go grab a quick bite to eat, and I will be back in a few minutes. Right, so also estimated charge time to 75% is about 28 minutes, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, we'll charge up, we'll take a decent charge, and then we'll get on our way. Okay, so I was a little bit off with my estimation. The charge rate as we hit about 50% is 40 kilowatts rather than the 45 I guessed. But it's still a very good rate of charge. I've got no problems with that. And yeah, we should be ready to go in no time. Yeah, so I'm probably going to charge to about 90% to give us a good amount of charge to get to our next stop. And then, yeah, we'll get on our way. Okay, so we've just finished. I wasn't paying attention, so we actually got 92% charge. We have 139 miles currently on the GOM. Our next stop, I believe, is about another 70 miles just to get us to Weatherby services. In terms of temperature, we're 2 notches below the first red mark, so you know, not that high. Let's load Leaf Spy and see what that actually is in degrees. Okay, so Leaf Spy is saying that we're at 44.1 degrees. Oops, 44 degrees. There you go. Obviously, we'll probably sustain that temperature, if not increase it a little bit on the drive for the next phase, but we should still get a reasonable rate of charge on the second stop. But yeah, let's see how we get on. Right, so what I forgot to do is read the stats off the drive computer. So on the way up, obviously the timer is out by about an hour, but we drove 70 miles in about an hour and something. Average speed was about 54 miles an hour when we got in, and the average miles per kilowatt hour was 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour. Right, so yeah, we're off from where we are here at Trowell to Weatherby services next. System says that's 78 miles. So yeah, we're going to get going, and unless anything eventful happens en route, I will see you at Weatherby services. Okay, so we've arrived at Weatherby services. It's currently 8:54 p.m. We've travelled we've travelled 81 miles. We have averaged 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and our average speed was 65 miles an hour. I was driving an actual 70 miles an hour on the way here, so an indicated 74. And the reason for that was just to get here a bit quicker. It does mean we've eaten into the battery more than we otherwise would have done. The rain hasn't helped that either, but that's fine. You know, we don't need to charge very much here. If I get to about maybe 65%, that'll probably be enough to get me home. I might do 75 if it looks like it's going to be quick. In terms of battery temperatures, we are 1 notch under the first red mark. Now, if we have a look at Leaf Spy, I'm expecting probably 40 something. Yeah, 46 degrees. So let's go plug in and we will see what kind of rates we pull. Okay, right, so we are currently pulling 30 kilowatts. That means we'll probably peak maybe 36, 38 kilowatts, somewhere like that. I'm going to give it a minute to bed in because sometimes these time estimates change. It's currently estimating about 38 minutes to 75%. So what I might do is I might see where we are after half an hour. Right, so yeah, it seems to be relatively stable, estimating 5 minutes to 25%. So we're currently at 20%. It's estimating 5 minutes to get us to 25, 16 minutes to get us to 50, and 38 minutes to get us to 75. So if that changes, I'll let you know. But you're probably looking at maybe 9:30, 9:40 departing, depending on whether I want to put in half an hour or 38 minutes. We'll see how the mood takes me. Either way, should be plenty to get home. I'm going to turn off the AC just so we're putting all of the charge into the battery. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a bit. So we're at 45% in the charge and we're still pulling 30 kilowatts, so that might be our limit for this charge session. 30 kilowatts, it's not, considering where the temperature is, it's a dramatic improvement over last year. Yeah, I'm not really that concerned. I'm sure it's fine. We are 22 minutes away from getting up to 75%, which is exactly where it said we would be. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on, wait for another 20 minutes or so, and then I'll head off. Okay, so we're at 70%. We're still pulling 30 kilowatts. It's now 9:30, so I'm going to unplug. I've got more than enough charge to get home, so I think that's fine. Yeah, so it does look like our charge speed was capped at 30 kilowatts. Now let's take a look at what the battery temperature is like. Okay, so battery temperature is 53.6 degrees, so I guess that means we're at the first. Okay, so yeah, we are over the first red mark. So yeah, we have a nice toasty battery, but we've managed to pull a nice charge at 30 kilowatts. Now I imagine by the time I get home we'll actually lose some of this temperature. So yeah, I think we will be home in about an hour. Okay, so we've arrived home, 22% left in the battery, 30 miles on the GOM, and we've travelled 48 miles. Just to give you some stats from the Drive computer, we averaged 58 miles per hour. We got an efficiency of 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour, but it's quite hilly that last segment home. And we've been travelling for 49 minutes. So yeah, we made it home with a successful without any real kind of Rapidgate issues. Yes, we slowed down, but the slowest charge we got was 30 kilowatts. I mean, that's not too bad at all, and that is with going at an actual 70 rather than indicated 70. If we'd gone with the indicated 70, which on this car is actually 66 miles an hour, I think we would have got even faster charge speeds, to be honest. So it is a trade-off between, you know, road speed versus charge speed. I think don't know, it's hard to tell which would have been better. It probably would have been better if I'd gone the indicated 70 and got the faster charge, but I don't think with just 2 charges, I don't think there's that much in it. If I was doing 3 charges or 4 charges, let's say if I was going down to London or something, I'd definitely be sticking to the indicated 70 rather than the actual 70. With 200-mile journey like today, I think the actual 70 isn't too bad. Yeah, it's certainly livable. Compared to the charge speeds I got last year coming home from fully charged, I think it was dramatic improvement, because I think I did 4 stops and I was, at one point I think I was putting like 16 or 17 kilowatts, and it was just painful. Leaving with a battery at about 80, I can't remember the exact percentage, 87, 85, somewhere around there. Having some, a decent charge in the battery leaving made a huge difference. Last year I really messed up by having hardly anything in the battery when I left Silverstone, and that meant that basically my first charge I was doing a deep charge from like 2 or 3%, somewhere around there, and it just cooked the battery on that first charge, whereas this time I didn't cook the battery on the first charge, and there were no problems. So careful planning, making sure you're not doing a deep charge unless it's your very last charge for the day, and also that combined with the Rapidgate fix meant it was so much less painful this year than last year. I'll do a comparison at some point in the edit to show you how this journey compared to the journey last year in terms of how many charges, how long the journey took overall, things like that. But it's so much quicker this time, so much quicker. So one other thing I forgot to add, which I'll just quickly add in here, was the final temperature of the battery when we arrived, and it's 51.6 degrees, which is below the first red mark, which is interesting because I thought the first red mark was at 50 degrees, but it seems that that's actually not the case. So yeah, somewhere between 52 and 53, I guess, must be that first red notch. Okay, so if you did like this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.